A couple of months ago, I made a video on a new release trailer that we saw. It was a really epic cinematic trailer with Vikings storming the lands, going through, slicing everybody. The animations looked awesome, the lighting in the situation really helped to bring the atmosphere out, and it looked to be an awesome game. But no one really knew what this game was until, of course, they told us it was an RTS game. This is Ancestors, and recently has been released a new gameplay trailer. So in this video I'm going to be going over analysing the new gameplay trailer and showing you guys some more information about Ancestors. The first thing I want to say about this, of course the cinematic trailer looked awesome, but from seeing the gameplay, it looks like that is not just a pre-rendered trailer. It is actually what you're kind of going to be looking at in game. The cinematics we see look incredible, going up close, watching the battles, watching the individual fights between units, just looks insane. It of course has the sort of Total War Attila feel to it, going up close, seeing these Vikings and Saxons going at it, slashing each other. But I really love that. I think that is what is really going to make this game stand out and make people want to buy this game, because it's what draws people to things like this. Of course, another RTS game has this over-the-top head strategy look as well, but it is the cinematic gameplay that people love to look at and love to watch, and I think that is what makes the Total War franchise so successful, and bringing it into a game like this, of course, will boost its sales. Now, the environments look amazing. Things like the lightning in the background with the rain, going into battle at night or in the daytime, it all changes how the battle works out and the environment around it. Of course, going in at snow or sunny will probably have different effects to the battlefield as well, but all in all I think they've got the lighting and the environments all completely spot on, from at least what we can see in the gameplay trailers. We see a little bit of a carriage here and men charging down above it. It feels like a sort of ambush scenario. Is this in a sort of campaign where you ambush people across the map, or is this a custom battle setup with the players in multiplayer? That'll be very interesting to see, but it's really nice that we can see other mechanics rather than just full out battles on land. And of course ambush mechanics are very tactical, and it will cause the player to bring in more than just full on head charges. Blood and gore is a massive part of this game, and I am very glad for it. Everyone loves a bit of blood and gore in their game. So you can see people getting limbs hacked off, getting sliced into, blood flying everywhere. The amount of gore on the weapons and armour is so finely tuned, finely detailed. It gives a very eerily dark and realistic tune to it, but I think it looks incredible. I really can't wait to be going and charging into battle, zooming in on my guys and watching them hack through countless amounts of enemies. I think this is going to give a really awesome and gory feel to the game. Of course, it is a strategy game. So within this, the type of strategy mechanics that we can see is your usual moving your guys around, getting them to positions and giving them different formations they can do. But there's also different stances you can give to them, and I guess this will affect the way that they attack or defend. The different stances we can see is stuff like if it's a defensive stance or speed. Maybe what they do is more orientated towards this. Maybe they're going to be less armoured there and they're going to be more vulnerable to attacks, but of course they can move faster, get into position faster and have the agility to get around the battlefield, and the same with the defensive style. They'll be able to take more beatings, but of course they may be slow on the battlefield. Now of course, if you have this over the top view and a cinematic view in one, you have to be able to make the transition between this smooth and realistic, otherwise it completely breaks the immersion for the player. From what we can see some pretty cool transitions where it does a nice smooth pan and zoom in to the lower battlefield, so it looks like they've done this pretty well. They've done a pretty good job of getting the transitions between the cinematic and of course the over the head top strategy view pretty well in there. The animations of course are important, because when you're going in the battle you want to be able to see them fighting. You don't want to see janky animations that will completely break immersion. But animations in this, like we did see in the cinematic trailer when the first was released a few months ago, this looks absolutely incredible. You can see guys blocking things, they're having these cool one-on-one attacks, but of course they're fighting in formation as well. It wasn't like when first Rome 2 was released and they had these pre-scripted, pre-animated things that they go off and do one-on-one, like samurai type battles, which kind of ruin the immersion, but it looks like they've kind of tackled this in a game like Ancestors, where they've been able to get the smooth animation but of course a still realistic fighting style. Cavalry charges look like they have impact. and that is extremely important in any game, not just a strategy game. If you're having a cavalry charge coming in from the side, you need to be able to feel like you're actually doing something. A flanking cavalry charge can change the course of the battle, and it looks like that's going to become very much in play in Ancestors. And of course, seeing horses smack into the side of men and they go flying is what everybody wants to see. Now, what are my negatives from what we can see of the gameplay trailer? For me, the UI on the top-down strategy view looks very cluttered. It looks like there's everything going on anywhere, and of course for a game that has a cinematic view, that can sort of be compensated, so if you don't want that cluttered UI, you can go into that cinematic view. But of course then you can't control your men as well, or if at all. And I think it would be a better compromise to have less of the UI on screen all at once, be able to fit it into a smaller area, or just have less of it in general. But then again, it is showing gameplay from the Xbox version. We know this is going to be on Xbox One and PC. Maybe the PC version will be a little bit less cluttered because of course you need more things on screen and controls for Xbox because there's limited buttons on a controller. Maybe that's just what it's going to be like for the console version, but of course, nonetheless, but it does look a little bit cluttered on the UI side, for me at least. For many other people, they may like to have all the buttons in one place. They may want to see everything so they can keep track on everything that's going on the battlefield. So in all, I think Ancestors is shaping up to be one of my most impressive strategy games coming out in hopefully 2017, maybe early 2018. It looks like it's going to be a credible contender to strategy games that we have already, and that cinematic cam just blows me away every time I see it. There's just something special about it. Of course we've seen cinematic cameras in the past, but this looks different, feels different, it just feels a lot smoother and a lot more professionally done. So congratulations to the Ancestors dev team, and I can't wait to bring you more information on this when it comes out. If you want to check more about this game, of course, go and view their website down below. But what do you think of it? Leave a comment down below if this looks like it's going to be a promising game for you, or if you're rather against the idea of a new medieval battlefield type Viking strategy game. But until then guys, I will see you in the next one.